Hey guys, welcome back to ED Figure, and today we're going to take a look at a younger Toguro 100% from S.H.Figuarts, and Yu Yu Hakusho is a very important anime to me. I grew up watching this over and over. It was during the time where we don't have Netflix or YouTube. Watch it on TV, we had the DVDs, and yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are on the same boat. Very important anime, and I'm just very upset that the scaling on this figure is so bad. He should be at least, I think, they don't even have to do much here. Just make him like 1 cm wider and maybe 2 cm taller. Like that's all I'm asking for. Like at this point, I really don't know like what to say to Bandai. Like this is just unacceptable. And I hope someone listening to this working at Bandai should like really figure out what the hell is going on here. Because we know Bandai at this point is capable of doing anything if they want to. And for such an important IP and character, if this was like some other IP or anime, I don't care. But this is Yu Yu Hakusho we're talking about. It's a battle anime, it's a classic, and yeah, let me know in the comments on what you think. I digress. I'm just gonna put that out of the way. And here's the left of the box, here's the right of the box, and here's the back of the box. They just announced the survey, or they just released a survey. Personally, I want to see Hiei as soon as possible. There's just so many versions of the same character they can do. They have different outfits, and personally, the biggest one I want to see is probably Sensui. Anyways, let me know in the comments on what you think, and let's check it out. I'll stop rambling. And here's the figures still in the inner packaging. The amount of accessories is okay, but again, the size, ugh. I tried to watch the anime just now on Netflix, and I did found like maybe 1 or 2 clip where this size kind of makes sense, but still, ugh. Alright, and here we have the figure itself, and my first impression on this figure is actually not that bad. Aside from the scaling issue, the figure feels fantastic. Bandai really emphasized on making sure the figure feels really good when you're posing with it. The articulation is top notch, but again, the scaling issue, really there's no excuse. We've seen bigger figures from other line, like Dragon Ball, One Piece, they all have like big figures, and we know they're capable of doing this, and this is just such an important IP. I don't think Bandai should cheap out, right? Yeah, it's just really bad. Hopefully they fix it in Toguro 80% or something, but for now this will do. And like I mentioned earlier, the articulation feels really nice, and let's take a closer look at the figure. The sculpting and everything is actually pretty cool. I think this is more like a comic look, right? Because I think in the anime it doesn't have as much detail. Just look at this back. This is really cool, and I'm really curious what source material they're using, but it is what it is. This is, for the most part, really cool, and I really like the soft rubbery plastic they use, especially on the chest area. Like for example, these tubes that's coming out, this is softer rubbery plastic. I think the whole body is, so it does make it feel really good. Yeah, this is really nice, but this is not as soft as some of the other third-party company figures I've felt, but this could definitely be softer though. But I guess if they make it softer, the scale wouldn't be like, oh, I mean the sculpt wouldn't be so strong. So I guess there's like a fine line between that. Anyways, let's check out the articulation. And for the articulation, let's quickly go over it from the neck down. He can look up about this much, can't really look down. You can tilt his head side to side, no problem. In the shoulder, we have a really nice butterfly joint, and the shoulder piece is just on a hinge. You can raise his arm up about this much, which is quite a lot considering he's got all this muscle. You have bicep swivel, you can curl about this much, ball hinge wrist. And for the ab crunch, you can bend backwards about this much, which is quite a lot. Bend forward only about this much. But I think with some fiddling and like angles, you can get him to do a lot more. And then for the leg, it's your regular 2.0 hip, open like this, thigh swivel, side to side pivot, and toe hinge. I believe that's it for the articulation. He feels really solid, really nice. And yeah, just overall feels really smooth as a action figure. Very fun to pose with. I think that's why like my first impression wasn't that bad. And for the accessories, we can start with the default face, and I think this is pretty straightforward. It's alright. And next up, we have like a cocky, trash-talking face. This is actually quite iconic. And then we get like a teeth-gritting angry face. And the last face we got is pretty iconic. It's a battle damage face where he got punched by Yusuke. I don't know, I would rather get like a shouting face though. Let me know in the comments on what you think. And we also get Yusuke getting punched. I don't really remember when Yusuke got punched by him like this, but I guess this is cool. The sculpting is nice. But I don't know if I really need this though. And for the interchangeable hands, it's quite straightforward, so I'm not going to go over it in detail. We just have 2 pairs of display open hands and then 1 left hand for pointing. But it's kind of weird that they didn't include the iconic finger flicking attack though, so I don't know. There's much more to be desired, and I think they really need to revisit their development team. But anyways, that's everything, and let's check out some action posing. And for the size comparison, let us start with Yusuke, and of course the scaling is very off, and it's kind of worrisome to me because we have so many characters, so many different heights, and they setting up the standard early on the line is very important. And what they're doing so far, it's really worrisome for me, and this is just such an important IP. I don't want it to fail. Just give an example, I think Toguro would be better if it's around this size, and Yusuke maybe a tiny bit shorter. I don't know, that can be arguable because if Yusuke is a tiny bit shorter, then that means Hiei has to be even shorter. So I guess Yusuke's height is fine, but Toguro definitely needs to be bigger. This is about the height of Sensui, and I think Kuwabara will go probably around his shoulder or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments on what you think, but I am a little bit worried about Bandai in terms of scale, right? Because, for example, like Momo here, why is Momo so big? Like, you can argue that, you know, S.H.Figuarts doesn't have to scale together with like different series, but I just don't like the fact that some of the characters or some of the female characters, some of the other characters, they have different scale. Like, I will be happy if Momo's around the size of Sakurai. I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe making figure bigger is a little bit easier. I don't know like how manufacturer works, but I'm just annoyed by the fact that sometimes the scale just jumps around and some characters are just way bigger than it's supposed to be. Even like, I guess like Deku is a little bit worrisome too, right? But again, My Hero has kind of their own style and scale, so I guess it's okay. But yeah, I really do think Bandai has to put a little bit more effort in terms of making sure the scale is proper. And we know they can make bigger characters. And I guess like making like this is just, I don't know, budget friendly for the factory. Maybe the IP is too expensive, but yeah, anyways, I digress, and let's move on. And next up, we have the good old Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts. And then we have my favorite, the Naruto figures. And then we have the JJK and One Piece. And then we have some other recent favorites. And lastly, we have some Figma and Mafex, and let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, if this is a standalone figure and it wasn't for a scale, this is an easy 10 out of 10 from me. But otherwise, the articulation is really nice, and I like the soft material they use, especially in the chest area. It feels really good when you're posing around with it. It just feels really smooth. And yeah, like, I just did a survey last week from Tamashi Nation's Instagram on which character I would like to see. Personally, I think I chose Hiei, Sensui, and Jin. Sensui, I love Sensui. Hiei is Hiei, and Jin, because, you know, it's a really cool fight against Yusuke, especially like in this outfit, right? And speaking of outfit, I just realized they have 4 different arcs, and everyone has different outfit on different arcs. Like, does that mean we're gonna get 4 main characters with all their outfits? Like, I highly doubt it, right? So it's kind of worrisome to me that Bandai might just not do some of them at all, right? So we'll see. This is Eric. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.